105 Judges and Chief Judges training organized by District PQ team and hosted by Division I. In any contest, the role of a judge goes beyond scoring. It's about recognizing excellence, offering unbiased evaluations, and upholding integrity in the process. Effective judges help create a fair and inspiring environment where each participant feels valued and motivated to achieve their best. District 105 has organized and designed this training to prepare us to serve as fair and effective judges. Please be attentive. Together, we learn and excel. Let me state the mission of District 105. We build new clubs and support in achieving excellence. Few things to follow. Keep your mic muted when you are not speaking. You can keep your video on if you wish to do so. Use the virtual background shared by the Zoom master. We'll be sharing a Google form during the meeting. Please take a moment to complete it before the end of the session. And now, for the opening address, I would like to invite an accomplished leader, architect by profession, Toastmaster by passion, certified trainer and coach, who is in Toastmasters for 10 years, current Division I Director, and the Laughter Yoga Guru. He quotes, "It's not over until I win." With a thunder of applause, let us welcome DTM Sachin Thakkar. DTM, over to you.
Thank you, Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Nidish Mani, who is our Area 33 Director, a dynamic leader, and a go-getter kind of personality. A big round of applause and thank you, Sergeant at Arms. You can't judge an album by a single song. It is like judging a book by only reading a single chapter. And today, we are going to witness all chapters being read in front of us. That's called Judges and Chief Judges Training. District 105 Director DTM Saiju Victor, District Program Quality Director DTM Cyprian Miskit, District Club Road Director DTM Ramanujam Raghavan, District Executive Committee members, Division Directors, Area Directors, Club Officers, and most importantly, fellow Toastmasters. A very good morning to you all, and I wish everyone a happy Diwali and prosperous new year who is celebrating. It is indeed a pleasure as a Division I Director, being the smallest baby of the entire District 105, and an honor to host this most important education session as Judges and Chief Judges training program. I thank the district leadership and especially the Program Quality Director for giving me this opportunity, and to our Division I to host this event. This session is important, as we all know, for everyone who is an aspiring Toastmaster who wants to be a judge or a chief judge, and also to each contestant, most importantly, to understand the nuances of how their speeches will be judged. So, fellow Toastmasters, I request everyone to be alert, understand, and be enriched with the knowledge after this session. As our this year's district theme tells us, learn and enjoy. So let us learn and enjoy the session. To take us through this session, we have a dynamic lady who is working for National Telephone Services Company since 2006 in Oman. She is a president of Acers and Pacers Toastmasters Club since 2020. She is a member of the club, an enthusiastic runner and passionate animal rescuer, meticulous task worker, hardcore Toastmaster, what I see her, and a thorough learner. That's my personal experience about her. She possesses good qualities as a leader, and she is our Assistant Division Director, Program Quality of Division I. Let's put our hands together for today's moderator, Toastmaster Bindu Mohite. Toastmaster Bindu, over to you.
Thank you to the DTM Sachin Thakkar, Division I Director, for that wonderful introduction. It's my pleasure to welcome you all today for today's educational session facilitated by Division I in coordination with District 105 Program Quality Team. This team is headed by a Toastmaster who is a Toastmaster since 2003, has held various positions in club, area, division, and district. He is the founder member for the first Gavel Club in Oman, formed in 2010, a DTAC chair for 2021, and he professionally is a senior manager of finance with WJ Towell and Company LLC. So let's all join our hands to welcome none other than our own District 105 Program Quality Director, DTM Shreeraman Vadhyar, to impart his welcome address.
Thank you.
Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bindu Mohite, for that lovely introduction. Respected District Director, DTM Saiju Victor, our Club Growth Director, DTM Ramanujam Raghavan, Executive Committee members, Toastmasters and guests, good morning. First of all, let me wish you all a very happy Diwali and a prosperous New Year. I'm quite happy to see this audience. Even during this Diwali season, you all have attended this session, which shows your dedication and passion for Toastmasters. We have conducted many educational programs in the last 4 months, but this education program of judges training, we did not want to delay as the club contests are fast approaching. We, as learners in Toastmasters, want things to move, and we are there to guide. The district team is there to guide. We have recently launched the Century Speakers Award, where you get a chance to deliver many speeches at the club, area, and the division. Therefore, you should be knowing the judging criteria that is to be followed. And it is a good time for us to know about it so that you prepare your speeches in that direction. I would like to thank DTM Shreeraman Vadhyar for volunteering to conduct this education session. I would like to express my gratitude to Division I Director, DTM Sachin Thakkar and his team for coordinating the program so nicely, along with the program quality team led by DTM Bipin Kuriakos. I'm sure this program is going to be an interesting one. So let's learn and enjoy. Back to you, Toastmaster Bindu Mohite.
Thank you, Program Quality Director, DTM Shreeraman Vadhyar. Good morning once again to the District Trio, DTM Saiju Victor, DTM Shreeraman Vadhyar, Program Quality Director, DTM Ramanujam Raghavan, District Club Growth Director, District Public Relations Manager, Madam Toastmaster Maria Mendoza, Division Directors, Area Directors, and my fellow Toastmasters. It's my pleasure to welcome you all for the Judges and Chief Judges training today. Today, we have the privilege of learning from an exceptional individual. He holds a master's in public administration and a postgraduate diploma in business management. 40 years in the corporate world, manages the office of the chairman in a reputed business group in Oman. In Toastmasters since 2008, he has exemplified continuous education, member of 3 clubs, a past division director, has served on several district committees, most recently as District 105 Alignment Chair. He describes himself as a mentor to few, but a protege of many. His motto is, do serious things in life, but live life light. Whether you are a seasoned judge or a newcomer, you will find valuable insights today. Please join me in warmly welcoming our esteemed facilitator, distinguished Toastmaster Shreeraman Vadhyar. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Bindu. That was very wonderfully put. I am overwhelmed with the introduction that you made for me. When you consider yourself a mentor to few and a protege of many, you have an opportunity to learn from many. So this training session that I'm presenting to you today is because of various resources that I've had access to, various people that I've had access to, those who have encouraged me to take up these from time to time. A very warm good morning to all of you, the district trio, the division officials, and all other officials and fellow members attending this program. First of all, warm wishes on the festivities that all of us are celebrating. Diwali, Saal Mubarak, and all the best wishes for the festive season. Just before I was introduced, there was a moment when I vanished. So I felt like there was one cricket match where all of the people went to the cricket ground and the umpire threw his hands and said, "Where is the ball?" So if some of you felt that, where is the trainer? I don't blame you for that. So welcome to this judges training program. First, let's look at the session objective. The session objective is to get to know the nuances of training, get to discuss a bit, and get to learn from each other how we can be effective and efficient judges for the contests that are coming up. So the purpose of speech contests, as defined by Toastmasters International, is first of all to provide an opportunity to practice competitive speaking. It also provides an interesting educational programs for members and the public, and an opportunity for fellow members to learn by observing proficient speakers. We as judges have an obligation to the contestants because contestants spend a lot of time preparing, practicing, presenting at various platforms. So we have a responsibility towards the contestants, towards Toastmasters International, because we are representing an organization that is just turned 100 years. Not many organizations can claim to be this old and this efficient and up and running. So we are representing a prestigious organization. We need to be responsible towards them, towards the audience, without whom no contest or no event will be valuable for anyone. And we as judges owe it to ourselves because we have responsibility towards us. Let me throw these questions open to people. What, according to you, are some of the qualities of good judges? Can we have the chat box running? Fastest fingers first. Can I have some qualities that you would like to define as
The chat room is restricted to
chat box is not
impartial.
open?
Is there impartial, unbiased? These are the replies.
Okay, impartial, unbiased. For some reason, I don't seem to be able to see.
I believe
Janet?
they should be knowledgeable as well and should know their roles and responsibilities very well.
Great.
Good listeners. Good listeners.
Good listeners. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. All of these are very valuable inputs. First thing that comes striking is that the judges have to be accurate. There is no room for dilly-dallying when you're a judge. You have to be fair because people trust you to make a fair judgment. You have to be trustworthy because not only Toastmasters International, your district, division, area, club officials, and your fellow members trust you to make a good judgment. You should be knowledgeable. No, I'm not saying when we say knowledgeable, we are not looking at someone who is bringing a lot of knowledge from the outside world. At least that is good if you have that, but at least should have read the rule book thoroughly and should know the rules thoroughly before coming to judge. So fair, accurate, trustworthy, and good listeners, as someone pointed out. These are the qualities of good judges. What do you think could be the barriers to objectivity or objective judging? Okay, somebody just posted to choose a deserved winner. Absolutely fine. Good. Barrier if the member is on club. Okay. Some of the conflict of interest. Great. Some of the points that are coming up in the presentation is already being answered. Knowing them. Okay. Great.
They have to observe within the scope of this judging criteria.
Fair point. Okay, lack of knowledge. Okay, someone says two good contestants. Interesting. Conscious bias. Senior members always win. Okay. These are great points. I hope to address all of these during the session today. Now, this session is not by any means exhaustive. And I can't claim to know everything that happens around me. So what we'll do is, we have, after the judges training and chief judges training, a 10 minutes question answer session. We can address some questions here. We've got some experts in the house. I can seek their help as well. If we are not able to complete that as well, you're free to write to the PQD team. You're free to write to me. And I'll give you a ID where you can approach if you have still questions to be answered. So bias against topic, not aware of the right criteria. These are all barriers. Let's look at what Toastmasters International says. Speaker position. The first and last speakers often get the most attention. So it's important for us as judges to be fresh, to listen fresh. And to listen fresh, we have to refresh ourselves both in terms of physical abilities, in terms of mental abilities, in terms of, I dare say, spiritual abilities. And I will come to that freshness a little more further. The speaker position should not be our concern. Each speaker, fresh speech, fresh judgment. Champion for the underdog. You've seen somebody work hard, so you want to promote that gentleman or that lady. It is not a good practice. We should avoid that. These are the barriers that come to objectivity. The halo effect, someone is really good. I've seen him do exceptional things, so I'm going to mark that person high. A strict no. Reverse halo effect, someone who is trying, someone who has not been doing all that great, I want to promote, like the underdog. Someone who has not impressed you in other fields of the world, so you want to score that person less on the judging speeches. No, those are things that can affect you. Second time around, I have heard this speaker before, so I'm not going to get anything new from this speech. That is something that can affect your objectivity. This is not the norm. This is not what we are used to. We are used to something else. Should not come in the way of your objective judging. Prejudices and personal preferences can also be barriers, because judging is a subjective process. We are trying to make it objective. That is why we have a lot of judges for every contest. If it was left to one person, that person's prejudices and personal preferences might have an effect. I'm not saying it will, but it might have an effect on the results. So to reduce the prejudices and personal preferences, we have a number of judges for every contest. So to prevent misconceptions, the best thing to do is to know the rules. So 1171 speech contest rule book is your Bible when it comes to contests. Some of the misconceptions could be the speaker is not sticking to the speaking area provided. So I'm going to disqualify the speaker. Or someone uses a prop that is unannounced. so I'm going to disqualify. Some of the misconceptions can actually mar the judgment. For example, some people believe that the international speech contest or international speech should be motivational or inspirational. That's a misconception. It could be any of the categories, that any of the purposes that the speaker chooses to present. It doesn't have to be motivational or inspirational. So if you go with this misconception, it is going to affect your judgment and it's going to mar somebody's preparations and performance. So we need to know the rules clearly to prevent these misconceptions. Let's have a look at the judges' guide and ballot. I must say here a disclaimer that this session will be predominantly based on international speech because that's the mother of all contests. So if you're able to see this, well and good. If you're not able to see this clearly, we will come to the nitty-gritties of the ballot later. So a judge's guide and ballot is something that is given to you at every speech contest. If it is not given, please ask for it in advance and look at both sides. I'll come to the other side also of the ballot and understand it for the elements that are included in the ballot. The content in an international speech contest takes 50 marks, 50 points. The delivery part takes 30 points and the language part 20. Like I said, if this is not clear in the picture, we'll come to the elements of judging in the later part of the presentation. So when you get a ballot or when you sit in judgment of a speech, take notes, make your own notes like an evaluator does. But I'll come to that also, how it is different from evaluating. Take notes. Use suggested points. What points using? There are elements like excellent, very good. There is a range of points for each of these. Excellent, very good, good, and fair. Use those suggested points to come at a point or mark for each of the element that you listen to when it comes to judging. Use other points. If I for example, use stars. Whenever I listen to, like, for example, voice, vocal variety or body language, I use stars. For if I give 3 stars, I'll give a certain point. If I use 4 stars, I give a certain point. If I use 2 stars, I give a certain point. So use other point values that you're comfortable with. Use pluses and minuses. So when I say 5-star is my standard, plus and minus I'll put. It could be 6, 7 based on the presentation. So these are the various ways by which you can use your judging assignment. Now, that leaves me with the question, can somebody tell me the difference between judging and evaluating? You can use the chat. I'm able to see the chat now.
Hello, can I answer?
Yeah, please.
This is Khulud Abdullah from New Horizon and Al Noor Club.
Yeah.
The difference, evaluation is to give feedback
Okay.
for the speaker. However,
Yeah.
the judge in the judging, it's just to put marks to choose who is the best speaker. So you don't give feedback. It's actually, you just give a mark for the best speaker.
Great.
Thank you.
A lot of answers coming in. Thank you, DTM Khulud. A lot of answers coming in. Judges need not be empathetic. Evaluation is comparing against the standard. Evaluation give areas for improvement. Wonderful points coming up. So evaluation is basically looking at the speech vis-a-vis parameters set as the objective and see how the speaker has performed and offering areas for improvement, plus areas where the speaker excelled. Judging is for that day. We have no responsibility to develop a speaker as such. Judging involves only judging the day's speech on that day Again, there are parameters set in the ballot. Within those parameters, how did the speaker perform is what we are going to do as judges. Evaluation is a continuous process. Judging is not. And the judges' decisions are confidential. Well, it's diametrically opposite of what we do as evaluators. In evaluation, we give feedback, we discuss, we have interactions. In judging, we judge, we don't interact, our decisions are confidential. The difference between judging and evaluating. So when we look at the ballot, for example, this is divided into 3 categories: content, delivery, and language. Any ballot. If you look at any of the ballot, these are the 3 areas which we focus on when we mark the ballots. So these are the suggested point values that I mentioned: excellent, very good, good, and fair. And each one has a range of values that you can use for scoring your marks. Now, for example, this is the international 50, 30, 20. Now, within this 50 marks given for contents, there is speech development, effectiveness, speech value. This is common for a couple or more of the contests. It differs in evaluation. I'll come to that. So speech development involves structure. How is the structure made? Is it a good opening, good transition into body, good conclusion? Is it something that we can easily relate to as a structure? How is it organized? What is the support material that will use? Or is it only some monologue that is being blurted out? How is it, are you able, as a judge, are you able to determine the purpose of the speaker? Like I said before, is it inspirational? Is it information? Is it motivational? What is it that the speaker wants to achieve? Is it clear from the speech? How is the interest level of the audience? And how is the audience receiving it? And how are you receiving it as a member of the audience? What is the speech value? What are the ideas that is brought? What is the logic that is being given? Is it some random thoughts that's being given, or is it something that makes you think? Are they bringing original thoughts as speakers? Do they make you think? If it is not appealing to your cerebrum, you might, as member of audience, think, or even as a member of the judging panel, think that it's a waste of time. So all these affect the way you judge the speech. When it comes to physical, how is the physical appearance? Now, again, personal preferences, prejudices should not be coming in the way. But in terms of how it is to be presented in the speech, how is the appearance? How is the body language? I mean, if I come and say, I'm very excited to be here, I'm sure the judges are going to be judging me differently. So is it appropriate for the speech? Does it add or diminish the value of the speech? When it comes to voice, again, audibility, flexibility, volume, all these things play in a big part in your scoring. Is the speaker using direct method? Is the speaker assured or lacking in enthusiasm? Somebody's drawing something. Toastmaster Lakshmi Ajit, thank you very much. If you could take those annotations off, thank you. And we come to the last category, which is the language. Is it appropriate to the speech purpose and the audience? It's very important because you could do everything right, but use the wrong language. You can leave a very bad taste in or the speaker can leave a very bad taste. So how are you judging? Does the speaker use language that is appropriate for the speech purpose as well as for the audience? Use correct grammar, pronunciation, and word selection. Somebody mentioned in the chat that one of the barriers to objectivity is the accent being incomprehensible, the language being incomprehensible in terms of accent and the language use. So are you using simple language? Are you using language that is the speaker using simple language? Is the speaker using language that the audience and the members of the audience, members of the judging panel can understand? So 20 marks for this, but it is very important because these 20 marks also can play a big part in how the other points are scored. You could have a Mercedes, but if you pack it in a Toyota package, it's going to land very badly. So is it being presented as a Mercedes, or is a Mercedes being presented as a Toyota, is what you will look at as a judge. As we move forward, we look at the development part, effectiveness and value. Now, international speech, the 50 marks are divided into speech development, effectiveness, and speech value. It's the same for humorous speech, but a bit of increase in the mark because it has to have a little more effectiveness, because your ability to receive and appreciate has to be a little higher because there is humor involved. It's not like international speech. International speech could still be, the speaker could be saying something, and towards the conclusion, if it is effectively concluded, it could still have an effect, positive effect on the other aspects. But in humor, one of the things that comes here is the reception, laughter, attentiveness. Are you holding, apart from what is given in the international speech, is the speaker able to hold your attention? Is the speaker able to bring laughter? Again, achievement of purpose, structure, ideas, original thought, all these play in, but interest of the audience is a bit added here, because you also determine how the audience enjoyed, while you also determine how you enjoy the speech in terms of laughter that was generated. So 5 points more in this when it comes to the content part. Table topics is 55 again, because a lot goes in those 2 minutes in terms of speech development. The logic, directness, enthusiasm, audience response, again, how they are reacting to what you're saying. These are things that play a big role in the table topics. When it comes to delivery, international, humor, and table topics carry the same marks. So there's not much of change in the way it is judged in these 3 categories. When it comes to language, international speech 20, humorous speech 15, because it's not about the language, it's about the effectiveness, the laughter that you create, the enjoyment that you provide to the audience. And table topics, again, it's 15. Again, not too much of emphasis on language. The emphasis is more on the content development. And when it comes to evaluation, you will see that there is no language. Straight away, 40 points for analytical quality, 30 for recommendation, technique 15, summation 15. So where does language go? I would say the language factor comes into picture here. Unless you use the right language, you won't be able to put in the recommendations in a positive, specific, helpful manner, or it won't be sympathetic, sensitive, or motivational. Now, does the speaker do this? Does the speaker use the language that suggests that the recommendations were positive, specific, and helpful? Does the speaker use a language that is sympathetic to the needs of the speaker, sensitive to the speaker's feelings, motivational to the speaker? Now, when I say motivational, again, we did discuss about judging and evaluating, and judging being a single process. But evaluation is one place where we can't leave them gasping for breath when we give them the scores. As when we give them recommendation as evaluators. So how did the evaluator give the report, the feedback? It also matters when you judge them on the basis of the performance that they came up with. Tall tales is something that is not touched upon. I thought I'll bring that also into picture today. Unlike the other ones, Here, the content is 30, and it's the delivery part that is carrying majority of the points, 55 points. Language is again 15, down from 20 that international speech carries, because it's not the utmost important aspect of a speech, of the total speech. The total speech is how you build up the techniques that you use in terms of exaggeration, the irony, the pun, the surprise twist that you bring in. So this is why the delivery part is given 55 marks here. It's important to know the ballot also. I'm saying this because I've seen in my experience, ballots coming blank. Now, your job as a judge is to mark first place, second place, and third place based on the tally counting or based on the scores that you give in the ballot, in the criteria that is defined above the ballot. One of the most important aspects of this ballot is that it has to be signed and your name has to be written. If it is not signed and name written, it goes invalid. So not only is the speaker's efforts wasted, your own efforts is wasted when you don't sign and write your name in that. So make sure that these two aspects are taken care of when you do this. It depends on what method you use. Some people write their names and sign straight away. But if you're worried that the ballot will fly away and someone will copy something onto that based on your signature, be sure to remember that before you close, you have to write your name and sign. Now remember, if you're worried about signing and it flying away and somebody using it and all, that was said in a lighter vein. But if you think that there is a danger of this happening, you can write your name and remember to sign when you close the envelope. But make sure that it is done. Otherwise, the ballot goes invalid. Now, when you sit in judgment, when you take up an assignment, make sure that you read the reverse part of the judge's guide and ballot. This is what I mentioned. We'll come to the reverse side. There, whatever I said now is probably put in a better way by Toastmasters International as to what they mean when they talk about speech development, effectiveness, speech value, audience response. What do they mean when they break it down to physical voice and manner in delivery? What do they mean when they talk about 15% marks being given to language in terms of appropriateness and correctness? So to add value or to add to what I've been saying, and also to refresh yourself. And it is very important to remember to sharpen the axe. I just read an article about the most famous cricketer in India today, active cricketer Virat Kohli, his form being down in the last so many tests. I don't know, about 10, 15 tests. He's scored only 2 centuries. So I was just wondering if he forgot to sharpen his axe. So the more senior we get, the more we take it for granted. Therefore, in judging contests, in speech contests, I would urge even the seniors to look at this side every time they take up an assignment. Without fail. Refresh to be fresh should be your slogan. Please also read the judges' code of ethics that is given in the judges' guide and ballot. Now, luckily, Toastmasters International has introduced this aspect in the ballot. So please read the ethics also. So in terms of eligibility requirements, if you have to judge a club contest, you just have to be a paid member. But if you have to go beyond that, at area, division, and district levels, you have to be a paid member for a minimum of 6 months. And you should have had minimum of 6 speech projects in the competent communication manual for members who joined Toastmasters prior to rollout of Pathways. Only those people who joined Toastmasters International prior to rollout of the Pathways program will be allowed to use this as this criteria. Minimum of 6 speeches. All others will have to have completed levels 1 and 2, and they should have had certificates of completion of that. And of course, this Here, I believe there is no online contest. So it's going to be in-person contest. You're present. It goes without saying that your physical presence has to be there. Now, how to go about this? That will come in the contest management program that is being planned by the district team. These are the requirement of judges and role players. So at the club level, you need at least 5, a minimum of 5 5 judges. At the area, division, and district, a minimum of 7. Area 5 and division and district 7 minimum. You need to have a tie-break and tie-break judging judge and chief judge for every contest. 2 timers and 2 counters for every contest, except at the district level where you need 3 counters. For all contests and contest chair to be appointed, and division and district, no judge from the club from which a member is contesting should be a judge. A couple of changes when it comes to judging. Toastmaster Bindu, what is the time left now?
Sir, it's 30 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I saw this in terms of ineligibility. I read this in the rule book, so I thought I'll bring this to you. Voting judge, tie-breaking judge, or chief judge at any level is what is mentioned in the new rule book. It's changed from beyond the club level. So at any level, if you are a voting judge or tie-breaking judge or chief judge, do not take part in the contest as a speaker. Protestant disqualifications. At page 17, they are written, protests are limited to eligibility, originality, and reference to another contestant or another contestant speech. In the previous edition, it was only contestant speech, another contestant speech. There is a new clause added here. The international speech contest enables members to practice public speaking and content development in a competitive setting. Every speech should fit within the overall purpose. So the purpose has to be met to clearly develop and present ideas in a substantially original speech. This point has been emphasized in addition to what is mentioned below, that which must be conducted in English only, follows all rules outlined in the general section of this rule book. They have added this point also. This is as far as the judges are concerned. Now we will move on to the roles of the chief judge. Before I get into this, let me also announce that if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. And not now, during the question and answer session. Before we start this, let me tell you that a chief judge role is like that of a wicketkeeper in cricket or a goalkeeper in soccer. The moment you make a mistake, everybody is out there noticing you. When you do good things, there is hardly anyone to notice you. Therefore, total preparation is needed for the role of a chief judge. And how do you prepare for that? Rule book is your Bible for that. I'll bring some points for you. If there is anything else to be discussed, please feel free to ask me during the question and answer session. So before the contest, if you're a chief judge, you review rules with the contest chairs, because the contest chairs are initially appointed before the judges. Appoint counsel and brief judges. And now you might want to work with the district team to check how the contest management team is going to work, because the contest manager might be recruiting the judges. You might have to work with them, or some people might want you to recruit and appoint the judges and whoever appoints them. It's your job to counsel them, brief them. You're also supposed to be selecting a tie-breaking judge among them. So where it is saying 5 judges, remember +1. Where it is saying 7, +1. 5 + 1, 7 + 1. It's your duty to brief the tie-breaking judge also. Where we are maintaining anonymity, please maintain confidentiality. Where it is not possible to maintain confidentiality, it's okay if you include them in the briefing and include them in the protest handling section and all. I'll tell you what happened in one of the area contests that I was the chief judge. I was sticking to the rule book, and I took there was a protest, and I took all the voting judges away for discussion. And I thoroughly exposed the tie-breaking judges. Luckily, our then PQD, who was the current district director, came to me and we had a discussion on this. So that's a learning that I'm taking forward. So when you have confidentiality, when the judges are anonymous, you can go ahead with leaving the tie-breaking judge alone. But if they are visible, it makes sense to make them part of the process, but not necessarily taking their opinion, because when you handle protests and all, the tie-breaking judge doesn't have a voice. He doesn't vote also. So brief accordingly as to what will happen and ensure that there is no voting happening by the tie-breaking judge. With the guide, with the contest chair and judges, review the judges guide and also the speaking area, because it's very important. Like I said, a judge should not be feeling that the speaker is going out of the brief area or the speaking area. Unless the speaking area is defined, the judge wouldn't know how to go about with that observation. So make sure that you review the speaking area with the judges and also the judges guide and ballot with them. When you review the speaking area, make sure that the contest chair is also involved. Contest officials are involved. So they also know what we are going to look at, because at the end of the day, it's the contest officials' interest that we are serving. It's that particular area or division or club that we are serving. So they need to be taken into confidence also as to what we are doing. So make sure that you discuss with the contest team, also with the judges team. Provide a list of contestants to the judges so it becomes easy for them to keep their ballots ready, they increase their efficiency. Brief timers and tally counters, give them the forms, tally counting forms and timer record sheets. During the contest, as soon as the speeches are done, get the time record sheet from the timer, ballot from the tie-breaking judge, and if, God forbid, there is any protest, make sure that you are there to lead the resolution of that protest. Oversee the counting process, ensure that you at least count twice for better clarity on the results, so there is no confusion. Ensure that you fill up the result form in the reverse order, hand it over to the contest chair. After the contest, make sure that you send a list in the notification of contest winner form to the contest chair, or in some cases, it's the area or division official who is handling that. If the contest chair has for the next level has not been appointed, or they would like the area or division directors should handle that separately, or from their own point of view, give it to them, but make sure that every speaker is ranked. One of the important duties also of the chief judge is during the contest to break the tie. Use the tie-breaking judge's ballot to break the tie. Okay, if anyone has any doubts on how tie-breaking is done, I'll be pleased to answer that. I'm sure all of us know who have had experience in judging. It's basically in the tie-breaking ballot, you have all the positions listed, 10 positions listed. So as tie-breaking judge, you will rank all of them from 1 to 10 position, and the chief judge will look at the people whose marks are tied and place the highest ranked on the tiebreaker in that position, and the next one will be pushed down. Simple as that. Make sure that you keep the ballots and time sheets and counter sheets until the announcement of results. Okay, but as soon as the results are declared and everything is agreed, destroy them, because you don't want these results to be hanging on your head. You're moving on, you're taking up something new. This is a tie-breaking judge, the ballot that I was talking about. All the 10 positions are listed, you will rank them in that order. Unlike the voting judges ballot, which has only 3 positions, here it will take a little bit of time and effort to fill all the positions. These are some resources that we can make use of. All participants will have to look at the speech contest rulebook. And since we are talking about judges and chief judges, the notification of contest winners, result form, judges certification, contest tally sheet, speakers contest time record sheet, and instructions for timers are essential from the point of view of judges and chief judges and the contestants. If you still have doubts, questions, you are free to write to speech contest and toastmasters.org, speech contest at toastmasters.org. George Eliot says the decision that you take every day shape and dictate your growth or the lack of it. So you take a decision today to be a judge who is going to be strong in objectivity and fair, trustworthy, accurate, good listener and all, and make sure that you pave the way for the speakers to be better speakers by making the right choice so that they can then conclude that their choice was right and they can progress. At least make sure that you help them in terms of picking the right candidate by your judgment and then let them move forward. Thank you, and over to you, moderator.
Thank you, DTM Shreeraman sir, for helping all the Toastmasters here today to go through the nitty-gritty and nuances and educated insights as to how to judge in speech contest. Before we delve into the question answer session, I request all the Toastmasters to open up their videos so that we can see your lovely faces, and have a group photograph. Also, at the same time, I would request all to fill the Google form which is floated in the chat so that your attendance is marked for today's education session. Zoom Master, are we ready?
Yes.
Please put up your beautiful smile. Once done, give us a thumbs up. Zoom Master. All done?
Thumbs up. Can I give you period? I have period.
No problem, sir. Toastmaster Kedar, we are done.
Just hold on. We have 7 pages.
Oh, wow. We are going to have a lot of lovely judges in the upcoming contests. We'll be witnessing them doing their fair job to all the Toastmasters who are going to deliver their speeches this year.
While we are smiling, let me also tell you that there'll be a lot of questions because, like I said, it won't be exhaustive. But I'm willing to stay back, and I would request some of the officials who have handled chief judge's role before to stay back and help us answer the queries. Also, DTM Bipin, DTM Saiju, if he's there.
Thank you. We have done.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kedar, for that lovely photograph. And now we will start our question answer session. We have already some questions being floated in the chat box. This one comes as one question has been floated as just before the results that are announced, a member of the audience rises and says he wants to protest. What should I as the chief judge do? DTM Shreeraman sir.
I'm glad this came up because I have not handled the protest part very detailed in this because it's a 50 minutes capsule. That's why I kept saying it's not exhaustive. So we'll stay back and answer all the queries that as much as possible. So the question is whether the audience, somebody from the audience protests as judges and contest chair. Oh, let me ask a counter question. How many of you can tell me the areas or the criteria by which a speaker can be disqualified? Anyone? Now that we are in the question and answer session, you can chat, open the voice, open the mic and tell me. What are the criteria for disqualification?
Originality, member
Okay.
in good standing, club in good standing.
Good standing, originality. There is a third factor. Timing.
If the speaker is referring to the previous speaker's content.
Wonderful. That's an addition in the last couple of years. So these are the criteria. And who all can protest?
Only the contestants and the judges.
Yes. Voting judges and the contestant. So that automatically rules out the
Public.
audience. So the member of audience cannot protest. That's part of the contest officials' responsibility to make sure that there is no protest from the audience. If at all there is something, the judges or the chief judge or the contest chair will not be taking that into consideration.
Thank you, DTM Shreeraman sir, for that response. Toastmaster Rubna Afna says, if I have a draw between two contestants, I must take the marks from the tie-breaking judge's ballot of those two contestants only. Is it right?
If you're a chief judge and there is a tie, you're supposed to be taking from the tie-breaking. Okay, one of the things, again, thank you for pointing this out, that this is something that I could have addressed. When you have a tie, for example, I have speaker number 3 and 5, and both I score, let's say 50 marks. So when I tally, both come with 50 marks. As a judge, I have to break my own tie. How do I do that? Look at the criteria again. Is there anywhere that the speaker did better than one speaker did better than the other? In terms of content, in terms of delivery, in terms of language. You have to break your own tie and bring up the winner's position. When you submit the ballot to the tally counter, you're supposed to be coming up with number 1, number 2, and number 3. It's up to you which one do you want to break, put higher in terms of any of the category, and then break your own tie. Does that answer the question?
Sorry. Good morning, good afternoon. This is DTM Rubafana. But I mean, after the ballots are collected and the chief judge is tallying the votes, and there is a draw between contestant 3 and 5. They both collected 50 marks. So I have to go to the tie-breaking judge ballot.
Thank you for bringing this out, because when I was a chief judge, one of the things that happened was one of the counters used the ballot to score marks. What happens is, in the tie-breaking process, we don't score marks. We only look at the position of the particular speaker in the tie-breaking judge and put that person ahead of the other one. So
it is the
person who is
okay, go ahead. Sorry.
The person who is ranking high in the tie-breaking judge gets that position, and the other tied person goes position low in the ranking.
So the tie-breaking judge is the one to break the tie and choose the winner, not collecting marks,
Tie-breaking
right?
judge is the one who marks the tie-breaking ballot. Chief judge is the one who, along with the tally counters, breaks the tie. Uses the tie-breaking ballot to come up with the winners' names.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rubna, for that query. There is one more query, DTM Shreeraman sir. If the chief judges senses that there is a kind of biases by one or two of the voting judges, what recourse does he have to get this corrected?
I believe that chief judge has to be very smart, extra smart, to know the biases. How does that person know? One of the things that the judges should remember is that they're only supposed to be giving the results to the tally counter. No notes, no marks other than that. The chief judge or the tally counters are not supposed to know what the judges wrote. This is why the ballots are expected to be destroyed after every session. You don't want to be carrying that baggage. You made a decision. According to what I said, you think that it is fair, accurate, trustworthy, and all that. You made a decision. Move on. That's why Toastmasters International has this special guideline saying that once the judgment is made, destroy the ballots. You're not supposed to be giving the ballots to anyone. So how does the chief judge know? I don't know. The person who asked the question might want to enlighten me as to how the chief judge will know about the bias. Can that be enlightened?
Toastmaster Ashok, hope you have got your answer.
Yeah, I got the answer. No, but chief judge will know the voting judges results, right? 1, 2, 3 marking.
Yes.
He must be knowing. So from that he can see a pattern.
Oh, yeah, it can be totally different. That's why I said it's a very subjective process, which we are trying to make as objective. For some, the delivery might be very important compared to contents. For some, nothing matters other than content. So the judges mark accordingly. It is not necessary that everyone agrees on one particular or couple of particular contestants. They mark according to what they think were the best in terms of the elements of the criteria that is given in the ballot. So the judges will have no idea. Even if 3 judges follow a pattern and the other 2 are different, we live with that. The chief judge will live with that. For the chief judge, what matters is the results that he or she gets from the judges. And if there is a tie, the tie to be broken. If there is a protest, the protest to be handled.
We'll come up with the next question, which is coming from Toastmaster Abhishek. How do I mark a contestant on language if I'm unable to understand their pronunciation at all? Let's say they are heavy accented. Note that the other judges and the audience may be able to understand that contestant very clearly, but not him.
This is a question that stumps me. I don't know, honestly. Maybe you get into a contest, before getting into a contest, get to know who are the speakers, whether you will be able to understand them. I mean, I do understand the cultural challenges that we have. Some of the speech might not be understood. But if there is someone in the audience who can enlighten the
Maybe that judge need translator.
No, actually, it's very unfortunate if someone cannot listen to that, but you got to live with that. I mean, what do we do? But again, you mark on the basis of what you heard, what you understood. Then the hope that the rest of the people have been able to hear and understand, comprehend better, and judge.
Can I add in the
this
language?
is something that we need to discuss and find out.
Can I add about the language? Yeah.
Sorry?
Can I add about the language?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Sometimes the language, some of the speakers, they may use technical or jargon language. Like, for example, if a medical person will be using medical terminology, which general people don't understand. So he needs to use a simple language. And also the proper English, maybe the English is broken, it's not accurate. So the message is not coming clear to the audience. Because if the message is not clear, the simple language will be easy to reach to the audience. So I see many of the medical terms or the proper use of the vocabulary, simple one, for them not to misunderstand. Because some letter can even give you a different meaning.
Okay.
If you miss one letter.
Okay, thank you. Is this Toastmaster Samra?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for bringing that. So we are bringing a different element to the discussion now. Initial apprehension was if I'm not able to understand at all because of the language that is being used. Now, if that is the case, if it is because of the accent, then I don't think we can do much about it. You've got to live with that. But if it is about the comprehension because of the language that is used, we have the last portion of the ballot is language. Range, depending on which contest you are judging, there are 15 to 20 points. That's where it is said language appropriate to the audience. So which means not only in terms of acceptability, it also means comprehensible to the audience. If you make it difficult for the audience, you are part of the audience as judge, you're going to mark low on that because you're not able to comprehend. Does that make sense?
If I may interject here, Toastmaster, this is Abhishek. I was the one who raised the question.
Yeah, please.
Now, the question really is, as you rightly said, pertaining to the last element of the ballot, which is languages. But unfortunately, what it brings me to conclude is that there are a lot of such elements which are really subjective to the judge themselves. Then where is the accountability for standardization amongst the judges? When you say that the judge is using their sole discretion in so many categories in order to make a decision on how many points to award to the speaker, where is the accountability for standardization of each speaker amongst the judges then?
It's a good point that you're raising, but I'm not sure we can sit and standardize it. What is the correct pronunciation? Who will decide? I cannot sit and decide what is the correct, or neither can people in sitting in Toastmasters International. Okay, Toastmaster Bindu is throwing her hand up.
We are a little bit time bound. So whatever questions are remaining, we can actually have that after the felicitation is over. And whoever has more questions, they can stay back and ask DTM Shreeraman sir at the end of this education session.
If that is okay with the members. But there is one member whose hand has been up. She's going to complain.
Toastmaster
Uzma. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shreeram, for a wonderful session, very detailed, comprehensive. I have a quick question. When it comes to the content development for the speaker, let's say we have to be judgeful on the impact of the message being delivered, because sometimes maybe speaker is using very simple language and the message is very powerful, bringing a change in the community. So that speaker will weight high as compared to other speaker whose message was not very impactful. However, he used fancy words, he used a nice delivery and stuff. But the impact of the message, how important is that when we are evaluating?
Okay, I thought I touched upon this when I was going through the presentation. Thank you for asking that question again. Now you have to decide whether the Mercedes were delivered as Mercedes or Mercedes were delivered as a Toyota. If you're happy with Toyota being delivered as Toyota, it's okay. If you're happy with Mercedes being delivered as a Mercedes, that's okay. But if you're not happy with Mercedes being delivered as a Toyota, then you will judge it accordingly. Basically, many of these questions, except accent, many of these questions can be answered by the ballot. If you go by the ballot, effectiveness, thoughts, original idea, thoughts, logic, does that make logic? Does that make sense to you as one of the listeners? Because don't forget that when you sit as a judge, you're also a member of the audience. Okay, a lot of these questions can be answered by sticking to what is written in the ballot. So if it's a great message delivered in a poor manner, you will obviously score low for that person on the delivery and language part. The content will be high because you think the content was great. Correct?
All right. Thank you.
So a lot of questions can be answered by sticking to the ballot. Toastmaster Bindu is eagerly waiting for me to conclude. Thank you very much for your participation. I must commend the PQD and his team for giving me this platform, and also a special word of appreciation for PQD. One WhatsApp message, one phone call, and one personal discussion with the team is all that took place. No over-the-shoulder syndrome, no micromanagement, nothing. Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DTM Shreeraman Vadhyar, for that wonderful question and answer session, and for the judges and chief judges training which has been conducted by you today. And thank you, Toastmasters, for your wonderful questions which you have come up with. And I'm sure most of them who are waiting for their questions to be answered can wait after the felicitation and vote of thanks is being conducted. Now it's time to express our thanks to all the role players for their hard work, for putting up this educational session and making it a successful one. Let me start felicitating our today's role players, starting with our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Nidish Mani, the Area Director for 33. Thank you, Toastmasters Nidish Mani, for kickstarting the session so wonderfully and on time. Next comes none other than our Zoom master, Toastmaster Kedar Chimote, who has handled this session so beautifully. Next in line is Toastmaster Vaishali Thakur, who has supported our main Zoom master Kedar Chimote. The most important people in this session are the timers. Thank you, Toastmaster Manoharan, for being our timer for today's session. Supported by Toastmaster Ashok Kanaksabai in timing. Next comes our Area Director of 32, Toastmaster Ajit Kumar, who will be delivering his vote of thanks in few minutes. Last but not the least, today's facilitator, DTM Shreeraman Vadhyar. Thank you, sir, for today's session.
Thank you. My pleasure.
And let me take the privilege. Again, not last, but not least, but let me thank our moderator, an enthusiastic and energetic MC of the session, Toastmaster Bindu Mohite. Over to you.
Thank you, DTM Thakur, for that.
I think she got muted.
Sorry, I hand over the screen to our Area Director 32, Toastmaster Ajit Kumar, for the vote of thanks for today's session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, MC. Good afternoon, District Director, District PQD, District CGD, Division Directors, Area Directors, other dignitaries, fellow Toastmasters and guests. It is my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. First and foremost, I thank the District 105 PQD, DTM Cyprian Misketh, and team for arranging judges training session and giving this opportunity to Division I to host this event. I, on behalf of the Division I Director and team, extend a hearty vote of thanks to our trainer, DTM Shreeraman Vadhyar, for giving us an insight on how to be a better judge. Thank you, DTM Shreeraman Vadhyar, for accepting this responsibility and conducting an excellent training session. Now, let me now extend my thanks to our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Nidish Mani, who set the tone for this session very well. Our timers, Toastmaster Manoharan and Toastmaster Ashok, made sure that the whole event was timed and managed within the allotted time schedule. A round of applause to both of them. And today's MC, Toastmaster Bindu Mohite, thank you so much for taking up this responsibility to conduct the session very well. And this event was organized through Zoom with the help of our IT experts, the Zoom masters, Toastmaster Kedar Chimote and Toastmaster Vaishali Thakur. Thank you both for managing the event platform to make sure that it is running smoothly throughout the session. Now, this event would not have been successful without the attendees. I would like to thank each one of the attendees for attending this training session and making it a grand success. Like me, I'm sure that you all are also enlightened to be a better judge in the forthcoming contest season. A big thank you to all for your active participation in this training session. Thank you, and back to you, Division I Director, DTM Sachin Thakur, for your concluding speech. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ajit Kumar, our Area 32 Director of Division I. Without taking much of your time, we are 11 minutes, almost 14 minutes ahead of time schedule. And that's a great achievement. Thanks to our facilitator trainer, DTM Shreeraman Vadhyar. I hereby declare this meeting adjourned and request whosoever has questions or they have some queries, our facilitator trainer DTM Shreeraman is at your service. Of course, we are also there with him, and request all the senior DTMs who had been chief judges earlier may help, as DTM Shreeraman said, in answering the questions. But officially, the session is adjourned. Thank you, and over to you, DTM Shreeraman.
I have no questions. My only question is if people have questions.
I have a question, logistics question.
Yes, please.
We are 14 minutes ahead of schedule. What was the great hurry to cut short the question answer session?
Great question that cannot be answered by me.
Okay, so I'll skip the question. Let's move.
No, the organizing people have to. I had no access to the time.
Excuse me? Hi. Excuse me.
Yes,
I have a comment and I have a comment and a question. When I tried to read, the writing was very small, but then in the end, I think you blew up the writing, the what do you call them? The schedules. Okay. Yeah.
Where specifically would you like to
mention? The ballot thing, the judges, which I know we all know what it is, but I mean to able to follow, and then you were explaining some points, and I also had a question. My question was about the tie-breaking judge, and now I have my answer. So thank you for that. They already asked and you answered, so it was good. Because sometimes I only was a judge once or twice. If there is a tie-breaking, you know what to do. Thanks.
So does that question still stand or?
Sorry? No, I mean, you answered my questions. Somebody asked what I wanted to ask, and you gave a very good answer. Thank you for that. Thank you so much.
Your query, ma'am.
DTM Shreeraman, can I ask one quick question?
Yeah, please.
Hi.
Yes, please.
Yeah. You mentioned that the international speech need not to be motivational or inspirational. To share some example of that, how it can be.
Sorry, sorry, I couldn't hear the question.
International speech need not to be motivational or inspirational.
Yeah.
What category it can be other than motivational or inspirational?
It's up to each individual. Today, I decide that I want to tell the world what I did over the last 10 years, 16 years in Toastmasters. That becomes my speech.
Excuse me. Sorry, my question.
Excuse me. Can you wait for a moment?
Yes, sure.
Somebody's talked about standardization. See, you hear a lot of motivational speeches. You're still inspired by them, correct? Because when people come with their stories, each one has a unique story. So likewise, each one has a unique idea. What is the idea that you're bringing to the fore is up to you. There is a misconception that international speech has to be motivational or inspirational. It can be educational. It can be informative. It could be anything that you decide as a speaker. when we talk about it in judges training, we are trying to take the barrier away, saying that it should be motivational or inspirational. The judges should not be looking at it as a motivational or inspirational speech. That's the point that I was trying to make. Does that make sense?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
There was a lady who was, sorry, Christina Badi.
Yes. Sorry, I know I said you answered my question, but I'm wondering if a tie breaking judge when there's a tie. Sorry?
No, somebody else was speaking.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my question.
Well, sorry, I didn't hear the question because somebody else was speaking.
Oh, okay. When there's a tie, what to do? You're a judge and there's a tie, and how to evaluate better and know
When you are a judge or when you're a chief judge?
A judge.
Oh, when you are a judge, you are supposed to be breaking your own tie. There must be some area where you feel that one of the speakers is better, or someone did not do as well as the other. So either score a little low on that or a little high on any of the elements. You use those elements, revisit the points that you gave them for each of the elements when it comes to speech development, the content, the delivery, the language part, and look for that area where you want to give someone a little more from the other one, and then break your own tie.
Okay, thank you very much. So much.
most
Thank you
welcome.
for all the session. It was really good. Thank you so much.
Toastmaster Sarkar has a question for you, sir.
Toastmaster Bindu, moderator, we have a question on the organization or on
No,
the...
Toastmaster Sarkar has a question for you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for
This is
representing Toastmaster Satar. Bindu, you are very kind. Yeah.
Thank you. When this is my one of my observation, I'm not sure whether it's correct or not. I have seen Toastmaster is a place where leaders are made, but we have seen many contests when people are taking too much drama and emotional subject, winning the contest. I have a doubt whether we are making good actors or we are making leaders. And another observation of mine is in Toastmasters, I haven't seen any exceptional leader. If you take in Oman, in business or any other field, I haven't seen a Toastmaster and an exceptional leader. I have doubt our judging all these things affecting this one. This is my, I may be wrong, my experience may be less, maybe because of that, but this is I'm feeling this for a long time. That's why I just ask maybe correct or not.
A couple of observations, is it? One is, what was the first one?
People making too much drama and the emotional subjects. And when we have got a lot of subjects in the world to talk about as a leader and like environment, a lot of things. But I have seen one Toastmaster one brought up something related to water. But I have seen later we were discussing and he was not there in even 5th position. Total 6 people was there. I wasn't thinking he was on the 6th. His delivery, presentation, everything was great.
So I'm glad you attended the judges training. Now you can set a norm by being a good judge, by using these parameters in the ballot. You could probably be the game changer here if you think that's what is being followed. But one of the things that I mentioned in the training session was that we as individuals have our own biases, prejudices. So sometimes it's possible that some things play in your mind. For example, you might be impressed, like I said, Mercedes and Toyota brought it because you might want Mercedes to be presented as a Mercedes. But some people are okay with Mercedes being presented as a Toyota because the presentation of Toyota is better than the product itself. The presentation that was made possibly outclassed the product itself. So some people are, I'm personally very happy when I listen to wonderful words being used, wonderful, beautiful pictures being painted and all. But when I sit as a judge, am I doing justice to my role? How do I ensure that? I look at each parameter. How was the construction? How were the contents brought up? Was it developed? Was it supported or was it theoretical? I did this, I did that, I saw this, I saw this. How a Toastmaster speech is different from other speeches. Theoretical speeches is when you bring examples, personal stories. If you look at the World Championship of Public Speaking, I can't vouch for every speech, but whatever I have heard from 2014 onwards have been stories. Stories sell. So sometimes it is possible that there is a bit of emotional overdrive. Sometimes there's less of emotion and more of action. So it's all a mix. How you look at it on that day using the ballot. Like I said, for most of the answers, you look at the ballot. Go by the ballot, answer is provided. If you don't like the emotional part, score less on the effectiveness, on the original thoughts, ideas, whatever you feel like was missing.
Okay,
okay. Second part, I was just told yesterday, I didn't know this, that John Maxwell was once a Toastmaster. If that answers your question as to why we don't have leaders. I had discussion with some other Toastmaster who stopped attending Toastmasters. His complaint was that we are not using Toastmasters credentials for our growth outside. So he's going to use that for growth outside. So it depends on you as an individual, how much you want to take out of Toastmasters and bring it to the other aspects of your life. It's entirely up to you. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, thank you.
Can I add something to it?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Toastmaster Sathar, I agree with you. Many a times we see a lot of drama happening on stage. But as a judge, I think where you have to focus is, can you look beyond that drama and look at the speech in its entirety? You know, when we are judging, we are not evaluating as such. So you have to look whether the whole speech, the whole package, the speech as well as the speaker. Just try to look beyond the drama, that are they delivering actually? You know, whatever they are going to talk about, have they been able to actually send across that message?
The problem, the question
has to be good. So you don't focus on the drama. Try to look beyond the drama. Like some people.
The thing why I ask this question is that I haven't seen great leaders making drama during their speech.
Yeah.
Have you seen? That is why are we making leaders or actors? There is why I made a problem. It's a genuine doubt I felt.
No,
because I haven't seen if you take any great leaders, I haven't seen them making drama on the stage.
Maybe
to state that point. That's it.
I'm sorry, maybe that is because when we hear other leaders like political leaders or business leaders, we don't hear them sharing their own personal motivational stories. We hear them talking about, the work they are doing or whatever. So there they cannot act. You can't act, you cannot add drama to that kind. But yes, in political speeches, you see drama. We see lots of drama, right? We see a lot of drama.
Thank you, DTM Namrata, for adding to that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Toastmaster Bindu, you want to close the session?
No. There are two more questions which have been posted in the chat. So one of the question is the option still available for the speaker to use 25% content with proper reference to the resources?
It is still available now.
Okay.
It is still available.
Okay, another question which has been posted is, if the contestant disqualifies because of technical like timer and he protests, can he recompete different contest or redo all the contests from beginning, same category? A little confusing question.
The way I understand is that if the contestant is disqualified for time factor or something, as long as it's not in the same club and area and all, there are options available. That person needs to explore other options. This will come in contest management, so I don't want to get into that.
And there is one last question from the chat box. That is, the speech contest rules states that all contestants will speak from the same area designated by the contest chair. If a contestant steps out of the designated speaking area, is he or she disqualified for this rule violation?
No, neither the judge nor the chief judge is supposed to be disqualifying. Like I mentioned, the disqualification criteria is very simple. Eligibility, originality, timing, reference to another contestant, and or reference to another speech. Beyond that, there is no reason to disqualify a contestant. You might want to mark low or high based on the effectiveness of the use of the props or the stage, whatever they use, vocal variety or body, any aspect of judgment. But we are not supposed to be disqualifying people on the contestants on that basis. If sometimes it's very intimidating if you're sitting as a judge in the front row and people come and talk to you as if they're going to kill you. So I might not like that. So I might score low on the stage utilization. That's all we can do. We are not authorized to disqualify on that basis.
Thank you, sir. I hope the query raised Toastmaster has got his answers. Anybody else wishes to have any more queries?
We have one more in the chat box by Toastmaster Vihang.
1 minute. Toastmaster Kredar, can you please read out that question? And because there are too many messages come out here expressing their heart thanks.
If Toastmaster Vihang is there, you can.
Members can judge only one half or any two contest categories on a contest day. Well, if you heard me, Vihang say about freshness, refresh to be fresh. So one of the barriers to objectivity of good judging is the inability of the judges to say no. If you learn to say no, you will displease one person at one time. If you say yes when you want to say no, if you're not ready, then you will have a lasting negative impact on the people who are organizing, the speaker who prepared and performed. So when you are not ready, say no. Simple no. Now, why I am bringing this is because you asked the question about how many categories can you judge. If you can judge one category and leave, nobody is going to complain. There is no requirement that the judges should be same for all the categories. You can have 4 sets of categories for 4 sets of, 4 sets of judges for 4 sets of contests. Am I right, PQD?
Yes, yes. And
so in fact, I would appreciate if people are able to honestly upfront say to the organizers that I can only judge one contest rather than staying back and then being groggy and not being able to concentrate. That would be disservice.
Yeah, the reason I asked the question is because I've seen judges literally sleeping when the international speech contest is given, towards the last.
Okay,
that's why I posed. That's why I posed the question. Yeah, that's why.
Can you send the slogan "Refresh to be fresh"?
Yes.
No, I'm just joking. Yeah, but that's an issue. If you're not ready, that's why I said if you're not ready, don't say yes when you want to say no. There'll be a momentary displeasure, discomfort, but people will appreciate your honesty in saying that you're not ready.
No, even taking one contest, people may sleep. So you cannot stop anything of that.
So that we have to go into that now, circadian rhythms, sleeping pattern and all that. If you're an afternoon man, afternoon nap man, don't take a assignment in the afternoon. Simple. Or skip lunch. That person who asked about accent, is he still there? Toastmaster Abhishek, or is gone?
Yeah.
For those who are in attendance, DTM Bipin, what's your take on that?
Accent, it's important that neutralization of an effort made to neutralize the accent is there, so that
sorry, we can't hear you. Can you? There is a scope to increase your volume.
One moment. Am I audible now?
Yeah, audible, but a little more volume will help.
Right.
Maybe sit closer to the PC, a little closer.
Is it better now?
Ah, yeah, great. Thank you.
So the thing about accent is, if it is not understandable to the audience or to the judge, then the purpose is lost. So as a speaker, to the extent possible, if we know that there is a need for that I have a very strong accent, then I am responsible for doing whatever it takes to neutralize it in a manner that my audience is able to understand what I'm saying. And if that is not being achieved, then the judges are well within their right to score accordingly, because they are not able to understand what is being spoken. So therefore, we see that many of the speakers, when they move up from division to the district and then go to the semifinals, there is an effort made to enhance their diction so that the larger audience, the international audience, is able to understand it. Although naturally they may not be that kind of, may not be having that accent which they are using when they are on the world stage. So it is the speaker's responsibility to neutralize the accent or make efforts, and that is why the efforts what we are trying at the club area as the progression happens, there is feedback that happens, and if with a very strong accent, it becomes very difficult to go through the levels. So it's our speaker's responsibility to have
Absolutely. Thank you very much for adding that. No, the reason I asked for that person is to know whether we need to understand whether it is only one person who has a problem with access. If it is across, like you mentioned now, the audience cannot understand, the judges cannot understand. Obviously, everyone will score him low. Then the problem is with the speaker. If it is only with one judge, he or she judges according to what she or he can understand. Leave it for the rest of the judges to come up with the results is what I think should happen. I mean, somebody asked about standardization and all. I don't know. I mean, we will have to write to Toastmasters International. And then what is accent? I mean, I don't know if we have anyone has an authority to say this is the right accent.
Judging anyway will be subjective. You cannot have a standardization.
Yeah, and we are trying to make it as objective as possible. We have DD also in the house, sir. Anything on that?
Nothing. So I would say that rather than accent, it's a clarity that really matters. People may have different style and different diction, different accent, but what you are saying, if that is being clearly communicated to people, that is what people are really looking for.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Anything else to be added?
No, I think now the closure to be
to say.
Sorry?
I have something to say. I'm sorry I tried to send my comment and question on the chat, but it wouldn't send. That's why I appeared abruptly like that. I'm sorry about that. But the session, thank you for everything. I think it was amazing and excellent. Thank you so much. I'm sorry again. Thanks so much.
Oh, you interrupted to thank you very much. I'm floored by the compliment. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
It is not an interruption at all. Even if it was a question, don't worry. This is why we offer to stay back. Because to the larger part of the audience, there's a lot of people enjoying a lot of festivities. So we want to keep the capsule very small. But we offer to stay back so people who still have doubt can be cleared. It's supposed to be a training or an education session, and it should not be a session where I come and say things and go off saying happy about it. I got a certificate. So we want to make it about members.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Frank, you have a problem.
DTM Shreeraman Vadhyar, I just want to ask one question.
Please.
During the contest session, this organizing managers approach us, having attended the judges session. They are approaching us for being a voting judge, and we point out to them, stating that I'm not eligible, I have not completed so much of speeches, or maybe I'm not a standing member or whatever it is.
but still they are trying to convince, no problem. You have been Toastmaster for a long time, you can be there. Why do they compromise and dilute this for lack of judges availability? Why do they, don't you think that it is not expected of them as per the rule book? When the judges are not eligible to judge, they cannot, we had I think minimum 6 speeches to be completed or something, or the standing member. We have noticed, and fortunately they didn't come back, but we have come across such situation also from the senior and organizing managers, that too, not from just normal Toastmaster through somebody or anything. Directly they are approaching. This is one of the things just I want to point out.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Chandramouli, for bringing this question all the way from Chennai, not Chennai, Tamil Nadu. You want a soft answer or soft response
Both
or a
are
hard
same.
response? Strong response.
No, it's a very soft one only. I'm not blaming, but
If you want to respond to that person strong, tell them, show them the 4 values of Toastmasters. It starts with integrity. If you want a soft approach, tell them you're not. I mean, like I said, saying no is not a sin. Saying yes and doing injustice is definitely a sin. The person cannot airlift you and put you in that pale place that, no, I want you to judge. They cannot put a gun to you and say, you judge. If you're convinced that you're not the right person because you don't, or someone is not convinced that some person is not eligible, stick to that. Nobody's going to qualify you or disqualify you for that. You can live with that.
But
I've done that many times and I've lived
judging,
on. Nothing has happened to me.
It's okay, but just thought of
I mean, but these are one-off cases. I don't think this is a general rule. There could be pressure situations when people are forced to look for judges. I mean, I wouldn't say unavoidable. Avoidable, maybe they are not able to at that time. Essentially, lack of planning. Gavel Club contest, I don't know when Oman Gavel Championship might happen. For this program, this District 105 Judges program, I received notice 2 months back from our PQD DTM Cyprian Biscuit. Maybe in December or January, we'll have the Judges Oman Gavel Club Championship. I've already had a notification from him asking for my contribution as the Judges Coordinator. So if you plan well, you will end up. There might still be problems, but those are negligible compared to what we might achieve as a unit in the larger scheme of things. Somebody mentioned about the speech, no? That as a speaker, you are responsible. So as a judge, you are responsible for your integrity. Let nobody compromise your integrity for whatever reason. If you're firm, people will appreciate that.
Toastmaster Vihang is still there?
Toastmaster Vihang?
Yes, I'm
Vihang, PQD will introduce a new checklist. Did you sleep last week peacefully? Did you how many hours of sleep you got yesterday? So then
the question
then
was
only be allowed to judge.
There should be a limit. There should be maximum 2 categories where a person should be, judges. That's what I feel. I leave it to the district. I'm no one to decide. But as a contestant, this is my experience and observation. Because judges might be tempted to get that gift at the end of the session. It depends on what is being offered. So they may stay for the whole event. I'm just assuming. But there should be a limit that they should be only taking part in maximum 2 categories. Even their capacity is 4, 3, or even 1, but maximum 2.
Normal cases, we don't have those means a judge attending all the 4. It will not be there. Unless it's a club contest and all.
Okay. No, this happened in division. That's right.
One of the solutions could be to keep the judges anonymous.
Then you will not know who is sleeping.
Number 4, no, not from that point of view. From the point of view of some people want to be seen everywhere, So those people can be. they'll then start saying
I
no.
believe PQD has got, will be covering all these things in the contest management training.
Perfect.
These are valid points.
Are we ready to close?
Yeah, we are taking you seriously.
That only two
Just
will...
like that, we for a lighter moment we did it.
There was one point I just wanted to add, if you permit me, in response to Toastmaster Sattar's point of seeing a lot of drama and performance. I don't know if Toastmaster Sattar is still there on the call.
He's there, but his video is off.
Okay.
Is there? He appeared.
Yeah. Hi, Toastmaster Sattar. So your point is a very relatable and very valid point. Actually, we tend to see a lot more drama and performance on stage, but if we are restricting ourselves from a judge's point of view, and if you're seeing that the performance is enhancing the delivery of the message, as a judge, then you can score accordingly. If the performance is it's going overboard and you feel that this message does not deserve this kind of delivery, or it need not go so overboard and so much drama is not required, or possibly toning of the drama could have made the message more effective, then you judge accordingly. So it's more to do with how you look at it as a judge and how you try to rate the delivery of the message. Because at the end of the day, the successful speech is one where the message has been delivered in the most effective manner with the best possible language and with the best possible tools available at your disposal with respect to the props or stage movement or all those, all the other elements which are there. So how effectively did your performance help you to deliver the message is what the judge needs to be looking at. And that's the only thing that matters at the end of the day.
Again, it depends on, some people might like drama, some people might not. One of the best speeches that I liked, you mentioned leaders. One of the best speeches I still remember is when Aletta Rashid was the advisor and she gave a keynote address in Dubai. She was very close to the lectern. She didn't move her arms, she didn't move her legs, she didn't move her body. 20 minutes of speech, very effective. It depends on what is it that you are telling the audience, how the audience is able to absorb that. It doesn't have to be a drama, or some people might have thought she was at stage. Actually, I wanted to draw a parallel comparison with the driving license issue. When we learn, we are told everything. As you progress, we don't look at the center mirror, side mirror, center mirror again and all now, because it's become our second nature. So likewise, if you are not able to evolve as a speaker, good luck to you.